Welcome to the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel. I'm your host, ArmaniTalks. In this channel, I'm covering communication skills for you to level up your way with words and become much more articulate. In today's episode, I'm going to be calling it the three-headed monster. And this episode was inspired by this old school Bill Gates interview that I saw where it was recorded roughly around 1987. I believe around that time, Bill Gates was 32 years old and he was making a splash in the computing industry. He was getting interviewed by this woman named Suzanne or Susanna, and she was hyping him up. She's like, you know, you seem like you're doing a lot of great things. You seem to be the future of the industry. And Bill Gates, he had some charisma back then. He's over here answering the questions, using the praise to his benefit. But eventually, somewhere along this interview, things started to be a little bit more choppy. This interviewer was like to Bill Gates, so I noticed that you guys are over here investing in technology that's supposed to be multimedia. I mean, you're trying to combine video files with sound, with text. And Bill Gates was like, yes, we are. And then the interviewer was like, well, where's the money in that? I mean, this just seems like one of those fantasy projects. Are you really going to get money or are you just tinkering around? And Bill Gates said that in the future, I mean, there was a high likelihood that video files, audio files, and text were going to be stacked upon one another, which would help with the user experience. But the reporter was still skeptical. She was like, I don't know. I mean, if a person wants to, let's say, use text, he'll just read a book. If he wants to hear something, he'll ask his professor and the professor will talk to him. I mean, why combine all these different files into one? And Bill Gates was trying to explain it, but I guess either she was really confused or he didn't have really good explanation skills. But you could tell that the two ended the interview not seeing eye to eye. Now, fast forward to the present day. Nowadays, it's like what Bill Gates was saying was just common sense. It's like, duh, why would we separate video files from audio files? Imagine that you could just see me right now, but in order to hear me, you needed to get another tool to hear me. It's like, no, let's just combine it into one. So in this one experience, you could hear ArmaniTalks speaking. Now, the reason that this ties into what the centerpiece of today's episode is about is because of the following. I believe the remix to the 1987 interview of Bill Gates is nowadays, you want to be that guy that is capable of being great on video, great on podcast, and great in the written word, which seems very unattainable at first. It's like, wait a minute, man. I'm just a YouTuber. Someone else is like, no, I'm just a podcaster. And someone else is like, I'm just an author. You're telling me to combine these three into one? Yes. Now, I could imagine that you're giving me the same skeptical look that reporter was giving Bill Gates. But I really do think that this is the future. I do think there's going to be less people that are identifying with a certain platform, aka I'm a YouTuber, and they're going to start to just identify with the branch known as communication skills. I'm just an expert communicator. And when someone adopts this paradigm flip, what happens is that their worldview opens up. Nowadays, they don't feel uncomfortable. Let's say they're over here recording YouTube videos. They don't feel uncomfortable creating the bio. They're at least practicing that skill set, but they're not mindlessly doing it. They're mindfully writing out the bio of their video in the same experience. And by doing this, I believe in the future, plenty more communicators are going to be highly versatile. They're going to be what I call the three-headed monster. They can speak to the camera, they can speak to the microphone, and they could use the pencil with grace. Thank you very much for joining the ArmaniTalks YouTube channel, and I'll catch you next time.